Gang, gang. It's TMZ back with Get a Life Astrology. TMZ stands for Teaching Everyone Abundantly, Empowering Many. Zakia, that's me. Enlightening every day, or it can be enlightening and evolving, or it can be enlightening and energizing, whatever you'd like that last E to be. So while y'all come on in, please don't forget to tap that screen like so. And let's get it popping. Today's live, as I do lives every Sunday, is about the week's energies. So, and you see in the title, it says this week's energies and gang gang. What do I mean about gang gang? Well, one of the energies we have coming in on August the 1st, because we're moving into the last day of July and the start of the week, and the first day of August by Tuesday is going to be that Aquarius full moon. Hey, Imani. So yeah, my girl Imani, we were sitting at brunch today, looking cute. So I'm gonna post some pictures later, if you don't mind, Imani. And we had a good time talking about astrology and how we're gonna start anew and, go into business for y'all. I'm still full too. Milan just finished cooking, of course, because she up in here doing hair and stuff. Okay, cool. And she talking about, well, I'll just save your plate for tomorrow, because, yeah, I don't want to eat no more. I barely want to drink this water. 1 second, y'all. Because I need to drink water. It's still hot, as y'all know where. It was a great conversation, yes, indeed. Always with Leos. It's a great time. It's a great conversation. It's a great way to just have a good time. Everybody was out having a good time. You trying to drink coconut water? I used to drink that a lot, too. Excuse me, it has an acquired taste, though. All right, let me get into it. So, I got the background up, and me and my youngest, Zane, shout out to Zane, my assistant. We have put the numbers on here so we can talk about a little bit of the week. Let me make sure this tripod, I'm getting a new tripod for the full moon. I'm going to try to come on here, all the moon rituals I do, but I'm going to try to come in here, yeah. She's getting ready to get her little self together to go to bed because I've had enough. But thank y'all for the likes. But yeah, so she helped me set up all these numbers y'all see on the planets so we can talk a little bit and teach a little bit and learn a little bit. Kristen is my husband, my twin flame. Give it to me straight. Well, we're not talking about twin flames right now, Kristen, but welcome to Get a Life Astrology, growing into divine adults, loving yourself forever. And if you want to know about astrology and how you can use it, on Sunday nights we talk about the weekly energies and what we need to watch out for. Where is my moderator? I don't these random bots like Ashley, but I don't know, they come in here talking about their love lives and stuff like that. It's weird. This is whole astrology back here. There's no twin flame stuff back here. There's nothing about, we're talking about relationships, but we're talking about Venus, the planet. Anyway, thank y'all for joining. There's a lot of people in here where I just don't have enough interacting with me about astrology. So if you are making something in the chart, in the chat, please keep it about astrology or some astrology questions about what we're talking about. Thanks. All right. But I do appreciate y'all liking the video. I do see y'all liking it. All right, this week, y'all. This week we call in Gang Gang Week because Aquarius, which the moon is going to be full in, the moon is currently in Capricorn. You see here at 13 degrees, and it will be conjunct Pluto by tomorrow. So let's start with Monday. The moon in Capricorn is also going to be trining. So trine, let me move this. It's not an opposition right now. Trine, okay, is when the same elements, air, earth, water, and, dang, Imani, I might have to make you a moderator. I just talked to Keisha. She was coming in here. DJ's playing video games. Those are my two moderators. But let me just do this right quick. Block account. Just me. DMV is gone. All right. Trines have to do with, I'll put you on. I'm going to give it, I deleted the last one, so anyway. if I need you, I definitely will hook you up. I want to kind of you just be focused on engaging and, you know, talking to people in the chat, and they're coming. But trine has to do with quick, fast energy between and supportive energy between the element signs. So we're talking about Pluto in Capricorn and Uranus in Taurus. So those are two earth signs. So we have a trine going on with them. Tomorrow, Pluto's at 29 degrees. Uranus is at 22 degrees. It's not a strong trine right now until Uranus. It's not a strong trine basically because they are 7 degrees apart, but they're in the last decan. The last decan is 20 to 29 degrees. So they'll create supportive energy. Pluto, the planet of transformation, death, and rebirth. Fear, power, and intensity is getting supportive energy from Uranus, the planet of surprise, the planet of rebellion, innovation, all things that's ruled. Uranus rules Aquarius, so all things Aquarius. Long story short, we're going to have that moon in Capricorn still until about late afternoon when it moves into Aquarius, okay? So we're here to talk about Aquarius. My eyelash makeup is still messing up, Imani. I can't wait to get this live over and then take these lashes off. All right. So after the moon also will conjunct, it'll be about, you know, in the 20s overnight. It'll conjunct with Pluto around 29 degrees and then go right into Aquarius. So the big deal is when it moves into Aquarius, it'll be at its full moon. You'll be able to see it. You can probably see it right now tonight. It looks like it's full. It'll be totally full by tomorrow night. And by, I want to say, overnight tomorrow night into August the 1st. So tomorrow night is July the 31st. Into August the 1st is when the moon will be at 100% full. All right. Thank God we see it because we always have these random cloudy nights where they try to hide the full moon, especially. All right, so the full moon in Aquarius is going to be opposite anything in Leo. So here I have the houses, okay? I have the house chart, which will look like this with the purposes on it. And I have the house chart showing that when the moon moves into Aquarius, it'll be across from its opposite sign, Leo. So I have Aquarius in the 5th house, and I have Venus in the 11th house, okay? So, and Imani, since you're here, we could talk about your houses next and where you got it so we can know exactly what we're looking for, where the full moon is going to be and where it's going to be opposing Venus, right? So, my full moon and full moons are it's like you're building up to something and then you're releasing it. So, when I do my full moon rituals, other than putting moon water out to charge up, I also write what I want to release, and then I burn it. So that is one of my moon rituals. But then I burn it according to the house purpose. So where I have Aquarius is in the 5th house. I don't know if y'all can see this, okay? So I'm going to read it. I have Aquarius in the 5th house. So the full moon is helping me release some love affairs. The way I self-express. So sometimes I self-express aggressively, impulsively, intensely. And then the full moon being in Aquarius has to do with groups. So this has to do with me and how I deal with groups, right? And correct me if I'm wrong, Imani, or help me out with what I'm saying. But having the full moon in the 5th house, it's also drama. So I'm releasing some dramatic ways that I tend to relate or express myself towards people. For instance, hey, 6 Images, welcome. So we're talking about the full moon in Aquarius right now. What is your Aquarius house, if you remember? Tell me your rising sign again. Because we're going to go over where you have Aquarius and where you have Leo opposing. So the Aquarius full moon on Tuesday will be opposing Venus. All right? In retrograde. So one thing about me that I need to work on with this full moon shining light on where I need to release is having debates with people, especially people who I would not call my friends or have in my circle of my gang, my squad, right? That's the name of this live, about gang. So what I would have, especially as a content creator, is an audience that I don't have to debate with. Okay, so instead of me blocking this person today, I went into a debate with her because I always feel like I got to express myself and explain myself. Long story short, I got another community violation, of course. Wasn't staying on astrology, went into my conspiracy theories, even though I try to tie to, the Pluto retrograde and the Pluto return, which I posted, so y'all can look at that later. But yeah, it was me debating with this person about the same topic I always get in trouble for, which is the Obamas and how they're inverted. And that's all I'm going to say about that. But once I release that kind of energy, instead of going into debate, and I can just block somebody and move on and express myself with the ones who want to hear it and receive it, that will be my full moon lesson in the 5th house, okay? The lesson I'm learning in the 11th house, and because I'm a Libra rising and Aries starts off, Aries represents the 1st house if you are Aries rising. I switched it, so the opposite sign of Aries is Libra, so all my houses are switched. So typically, the 5th house is the Leo house. The 11th house is the Aquarius house, but I have it switched. So I have Leo in the 11th house and Aquarius in the 5th house. Any questions so far? You're Libra rising too. So then you're having the same stuff I'm talking about. 6 images, yep. And you have Aquarius in the 6th house like that. No. Was I wrong, Imani? Did I do that again? No, 11 minus 5. 11 minus 6 is 5. Right. So you have, if you're a Libra rising, 6 images, you have Aquarius in the 5th house, right? Yeah, he has Aquarius in the 5th house. So what I just read about the 5th house is for both Libra risings. Let me just confirm it for you, okay? Because I got it set up right here for us. 1st house, if you can see it, is all the way up here. It's my Libra house. Here's the word Libra, because I'm a Libra rising like you. He said 6, and it's the 5th. Hey, Jason. Your moon is in cardinal earth. Mine is in cardinal water. Oh, yours is in Cancer. Right. We talk about that too, Jason. Yep. So that means, Jason, I'm trying to guess this without, it's the 5th. Right. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for following me too, Astrological Vibes. I like that name. And thank you for the likes. So yeah, did you hear the message I gave 6 image about the 5th house? Is any of that resonating for us Libra risings? Like, do you feel like you need to express yourself to the right set of people? And not, do you ever have debate? I see he corrected it. Jason, remind me, since you're here, my buddy Jason's here, remind me of where your rising is. And then Imani, we're going to do yours. So Imani's a Leo rising, y'all. Imani's 1st house is the Leo house. So the retrograde is right here for Imani. Venus is in the 1st house for her. Across from the 1st house is the 7th house, so she has Aquarius. She has the full moon in the 7th house. Yeah, you said your moon is opposite of mine. So you're Aries rising? Okay, you said, that's right. That's the long conversation we had the other day. Do you see how much I talk to a lot of people once? It's the same thing. Like, I'm a teacher too, so I know a lot of kids, and sometimes I forget people's names. And living in DC, people come to me all the time, and I'm like, your name, but I know your face. Thank you. So we'll do Aries rising right after Leo rising. Cancer moon, 15, 0 minutes. Wow. So it just moved into the slam middle of Cancer. Cool. All right, so Imani has the full moon in her 7th house, right, Imani? So Imani's releasing relationships. We already talked about this. Imani can talk about her own stuff if she likes in the chat, or she can come on. Marriages, contracts, business partners, equality. One thing I want to say about having Aquarius in the Leo house, in the 7th house, the Libra house, is that Aquarius is already unique and innovative. And it's hard to be equal to a lot of groups of people when with labels. So let me stop there. For instance, a lot of people want me to change having the Leo in 11th house. A lot of people want me to change how I express myself. I want to change how I express myself, right? I'm sorry, 6 images. Remind me of your name too, because I know you've come in here before, and I'm totally sorry about that. I have Aquarius in both 7th and 8th houses. Jason, please help me with that, because me and Imani was talking about this earlier today. So how will the full moon affect me? Remember we was talking about the whole houses and stuff? Olivia. Okay, cool. Cool, Olivia. My apologies. So Imani says she has Aquarius in both 7th and 8th houses because it overlaps. But what I was told about whole charts, using whole charts, is it will put the majority of wherever that overlap is with the sign, right? So if you have Aquarius in both 7th and 8th houses, it depends on where the Aquarius is the most. So I'm thinking it would be in the 7th house because you're a Leo rising. Whole can mess us up. Why you say that, Jason? Because at first, before I started using whole charts, I'd had no Leo in Aquarius placements. Houses. I have double Aries and double Libra. So I had Libra in the 12th and in the 1st. I had Aries in the 6th and the 7th. 5th and the 6th. And I had no Aquarius or Leo until I did the whole charts. So why do you say it can mess us up? But Imani, which house would be more fitting if you say? I think having Aquarius in the 7th house is what I've noticed. But it could be also releasing your intimate relationships, assets, partners, resources. If you have Aquarius in the 7th house, Imani, that means you would have Pisces in the 8th. So you're ending, if you're using the whole chart, you would have Pisces in the 8th. Let me put my charger out because my phone is going to overheat. All right, so just tell me, Imani. You think it's in the 7th? Right. And I think it's more fitting with what we've been talking about you're releasing so far. Hi, Michaela. Leo Sun, Gemini Room, Leo Rising. There we go. We're talking about Leo Rising right now, Michaela. Thanks for joining. Hold on. I'm going to come right back to you, Michaela. I'm reading what Jason said. I used a whole for a while. Went to Placidus, and the thing made more sense. I think I do use... Placidus is the other... Right. But I'm waiting over to this. I can't tell. You know a lot. I guess you know the biblical, like your name. I guess you know the biblical aspect of astrology and how it connects through religion. But your whole chart, if you use the whole chart, it would make sure that you have every sign in a house. It makes sure of that. Placidus doesn't. And I really felt like I had, when my Libra, have a Libra rising, so I really felt like I had the 1st house and the 12th house, which I guess you can, but it was majority, because most of it's in the 1st house. It was majority about the stuff for me in Libra rising, having a self-appearance, I get told that I look good all the time. I'm not, tooting my own horn, but I had to keep that up in order to get the energy online, especially as a content creator. All right, let me get back to Michaela real quick. So Michaela, I don't know if you heard, but we were talking about if you are Leo rising, that means you have it in the 1st house. I don't know if you know about the houses. It seems like you do. You have a Virgo Venus too. I'm going to talk about that real quick after this. But you have this full moon in Aquarius that's happening on this Tuesday. It's going to be in your 7th house. Because if you're a Leo rising, like Imani in the chart, her name is a preferred preference on here. Then you have, in the chat, I keep saying the chart because I'm holding the chart. You're releasing things with the full moon. So you'll be releasing any relationships that are not fitting you anymore. Marriages, contracts, business partners, equality, sharing interpersonal style. If you are married and you have this full moon in the 7th house, or if you're in a relationship and it's not you releasing this, or you're not having any issues, it's just the time to build it and make it stronger. And see if there are some things that you could release. Or even it has majority to do with relationships, the 7th house. It's the relationship house, but it also can be about contracts you have with people. Some, maybe like you're working with somebody as a contractor, or a contractor is working with you and it's not working out, release it. All right. Oh, but the Venus in Virgo, I want to say that every retrograde cycle happens in the same time for 8 years. And this was the first time that we had Venus in retrograde in Leo without it starting in Virgo and moving back into Leo. It literally started at the 28th degree. It's now around 27 degrees because it just went in retrograde 11 days ago, 12 days ago now. So it's moving slow. But it'll get all the way back to like the early degrees, like around 8 or 7 before it goes direct again. But in 2015, think of what you were learning about or reevaluating with love, beauty, and finances when it was in Leo. But with Virgo, because it started in Virgo in 2015, it also happened 8 years before that, 2007, 8 years before that, 1999. All the things you were doing when it started, Venus started in Virgo. So Venus in Virgo is more like catering to your love, or catering to giving service to others. It's also about health. It's also about all 6th house stuff. Your work habits, the way you organize. Also about pets too, okay? So think back about that and comment on it if you can. It's all perspective. Whole is easier for me, but Placidus seems a bit more personal just for me. I agree, because I started with Placidus myself, and then I went to whole only because I wanted to see where I had Aquarius and Leo. All right. Yes, because of intercepted house. That makes, yep, exactly. And that's what Imani's talking about. She has an intercepted, Leo and Aquarius, right, Imani? With astrologers I use, okay, I saw that. Oh no, astrologers I use with friends and quick read equal is easier. Okay, cool. All right, so again, did I get everybody? I hope I did. No, I didn't do yours, Jason. Aries rising. I seem to have it. I'm not 7th and 8th house. What you mean? Oh, what we were talking about, Imani? You seem to have it in the 7th more and not the 8th house, right? That's how I said I seem to have my rising more in the 1st instead of the 12th. Hey, everyone joining, please hit the like button, tap the screen. If you're in here, thank you so much. I appreciate y'all. All right, so Aries rising, right, Jason? My memory is so crazy. Yep, Aries rising at 29 degrees, so he was almost a Taurus rising. If you're Aries rising, you would have Aquarius in the 11th house. It would be right where it belongs because Aries starts the whole zodiac as well as the houses. Okay, so if you're Aries rising, you have the full moon in the 11th house, the house of groups, friends, social awareness. You could be releasing some of these friends. You could be releasing connections with technology. I hope not, because maybe it could be releasing, because I know a lot of people do not like to use technology. What would you say, Jason? A lot of people don't like to use technology, but maybe you're releasing your fears about it or how it could make you anxious. A lot of people could be that. It also is hopes and wishes for the future. So something has been building up in the 11th house, Jason. And now it's time to release it. Your wishes for the future. That could be, I fixed iPhones for 13 years and I don't like it, but I see what's coming I want to see what's coming. Cool. Wow. That makes sense. And listen, I feel like sometimes when I check with people to see if I'm right, it makes me feel even better, because it's like I'm just taking, I don't know you, I just met you the other day, so I'm just taking what the 11th house represents and what the full moon represents, and I'm putting them together. So the full moon represents releasing. So you build up to something and then you're releasing it, and then you connect wherever that full moon is. If it's an Aquarius full moon, you find out what Aquarius house you have, and then those are your purposes that you're releasing. Did too much 5G research. I bet. No problem. Thank you. All right, y'all. Until we have somebody else join us that wants to do the risings, we talked about the full moon. One other thing I want to say about the full moon is Leo is more of an independent sign. Leo is ruled by the sun, so it represents ego and self and the individual themselves. And Aquarius represents groups. So anywhere you have the Leo or Aquarius houses, wherever you have Leo, you're thinking of individual. Again, so like I have Leo in the 5th house. So I'm thinking of how I individually, especially with Venus there too, right? I'm sorry. Right, Venus is in the 5th house because that's my, where am I, y'all? The full moon is in the 5th house because that's my Aquarius house. I was thinking of just talking about these and I'm backwards, excuse me. It's getting close to the Mercury retrograde. We're going to talk about that too. The shadow is upon us. And I get tongue-tied in Mercury retrograde. Did I see your messages? Do I need to scroll up? I'm in the 8th house. I have it in 29 degrees in 5 minutes. What do you have in the 8th house? Oh, you mean Leo? I mean Aquarius. You have Aquarius in the 7 degrees in 49 minutes. But you said you feel like it's in the 7th house more, right, Imani? I need more water, y'all. The air is thick. DC is so humid. If I don't have my air on and it's so loud, I can't have it on when I'm live. And I don't want the window open because they still busting off and firecracking and driving crazy outside. Oh, your rising is in Leo 29 degrees, so it was almost in Virgo. Right, I think I remember you talking about that. Because of my, what's Risset? You mean, oh, rising, because of my rising. Right. I'm confused. I'm confused. Where am I messing up? 360 likes. That's my old group. I shaded that number. I literally got my old crew, because in DC we have either neighborhoods or crews. I don't know if y'all can see this. Anyway, I have like the world sign on my back. I don't know if I'm showing y'all. Let me know if you see it. But we were called 360 because we were from all different neighborhoods. And I literally took myself out, and I was the 360 president. Like, I was the Libra rising, so I brought everybody together. You couldn't see it. I'm going to have to see if when Zane comes or pops in here, she can show us y'all. But I used to keep everybody together. I'm on 360 likes, so that's what made me say it. And in 2020, I separated myself from me. All of them. Because we're not on the same thing. That's what I wanted to say about the full moon. Opposing Venus in retrograde in Leo, the full moon in Aquarius. It's about practicing and believing in myself and practicing what I say to y'all so that I gain from new friends and new acquaintances that are similar and not trying to label me as a conspiracy theorist or an evil person for doing astrology and all those kind of things. Hi, Alicia. Welcome. Sag, Sun, Gemini, Rising, Virgo, Moon, all mutable. Well, at least you adapt well. Imani, what was we talking about mutable signs again earlier? All right, so let me see. The Gemini rising. So let's put Gemini in the 1st house. 2nd house will be Cancer. 3rd house will be Leo. So 6 houses across, you have the full moon in the 9th house. Let's see if I'm right about this. So you have the full moon in the 9th house. Full moon means you're releasing things. You would be releasing travel. Maybe you shouldn't be taking so much trips, or you're not taking enough trips, or maybe you need to go somewhere to go do something. Wisdom, philosophy, higher education, law and religion, cross-cultural relations, learning, and ethics. That's tough because it's all good stuff in the 9th house. The 9th house is the Sagittarius house. So you having the full moon in the ninth house, what do you need to release out of that? Are you going to like a class or teaching a class that is not going so well, or you don't need to do it? Talk to me. She got Mars in Virgo, North Node, Virgo stellium. Good grief. So this Mars currently, you have Mars and you're having your Mars return. So you are very organized and detailed with you take action on being organized and detailed. Mars is the plane of action. Your Mars in Gemini. So yeah, y'all's Marses are being ruled by Mercury. So you communicate well. Mars and Gemini, y'all communicate too much. We just had the Mars. We just had the Mars in retrograde in Gemini for 8 months. If y'all don't remember, it went from 20. What did it start like? When did it start? Like summer of 2022, and it ended in like the end of January or something. It came into 2023 with us because Mars is only in Virgo, and Mars normally moves with the sun. It normally changes signs like every 4 to 6 weeks, like maybe 5 weeks. So it hasn't moved that far since it was in Gemini. Somebody sending me a message. Okay, so how about the full moon that I was talking about? Alicia, how about the full moon? Yeah, I know a couple of people with Mars and Gemini. I love to talk with y'all though, Imani. My dog I've had for 13 years is sick, and I'm having to stay home. And Virgo has to do with pets. Yep. But hold on. What do you say about the full moon, Alicia? Having a North Node in Virgo and a South Node, we was talking about that earlier too. Me and Imani was together just talking astrology for like 4 hours at brunch today. It was cool. But having a South Node in Pisces, do y'all feel like y'all got to release the, and we're a little bit off topic, but why not? Y'all are here engaging, and I appreciate y'all. Do y'all feel like you have to release your trying to escape reality, or having to release, or you're comfortable with, what am I saying, y'all? Let me look at the 12th house. Are you comfortable with your spirituality, the healing you have to do, forgiving people? Like, what is it like having the South Node in Pisces? Releasing delusions. Yep. I don't want to say it because I literally, even as a Scorpio sun, I don't get along with Pisces at all. It started with my father. I'm sorry, I was dealing with my dog. I missed what you said. Oh, it's no problem because you have so much Virgo. Virgo represents pets and the service you give others, so please deal with your dog. I have a cat, and I love dogs too. I'm an animal person. I have Virgo in the 12th house. So my struggles with reality is keeping myself healthy. That's a lot of Virgo. That's a Virgo characteristics. Health, service to others, pets. I've had a number of pets I had to give away because I move a lot. So that is definitely touchy for me with having Virgo in the 12th house. Well, me and all my Virgos don't like dogs. That's something you got. That's something maybe you got to end. What if your next twin flame or your soulmate, Imani, has animals? What if they have dogs? Moving all the time has to do with your Sagittarius house or Sagittarius placements. I have Sagittarius in the 3rd house. So wherever I move, I learn about my local area really quick. I moved to LA, and even though LA County is super huge, I started driving Lyft, and so I could learn everything about the whole LA County. My grandma was November 10th. I'm November 15th, and my grandma was November the 18th. Is that crazy? Isn't that crazy? Is that Jason talking to Alicia? Me and Jason both born in 1977. He's the first, I'm the 15th. And both of our grandmothers are Scorpios too. That's wild. You're not scared of them, you just don't like them. Well, what are you going to do if you have somebody that you really mesh with, Imani, in the future that has the dog? What you going to do? That was Jason. See, Jason, we got so much in common. You see how the universe put us together? Because literally, I've gotten so many, just the conversation we had, and then I shared a lot with people that missed it on my YouTube channel. I put the clip up of Friday's live. You're 79, Alicia. Virgo's 70 kids. Imani's 79 too, right, Imani? I had to add that to my list. No pets. Girl, don't miss out on something because you don't like no daggone pets. That's the whole point of having the South Node in Pisces. Release the fears. End them. End them. Limiting beliefs too. End them. All right. Enough about that. Oh my God. I like the name of the person that just joined. Laugh out loud, laugh out loud, laugh out loud. That's funny. All right, let's go. Other things that's happened on Tuesday. The moon is going to square Jupiter. So with the moon being in Aquarius, Jupiter being in Taurus, Taurus and Aquarius are fixed signs. Squares create conflicts. Moon is about our emotions. Jupiter expands whatever it's aspecting. So our emotions could be heavy, but Jupiter and Taurus is a good placement because Jupiter brings luck. Taurus is about finances. Jupiter brings abundance. Taurus is about security. So this is not such a harsh square, especially with the moon being Aquarius. You're feeling more unique and free anyway. So that won't be a harsh square. It's also about being grateful for what you have, because Taurus is a sign that is about money. Being an earth sign, it's about material things. Being an earth sign, so you're grateful for what you have, and the part that Jupiter is going to expand on your gratefulness. Jupiter is transitioning in your 10th house in Taurus now, and that's the career house. So I would agree. Who stinks? Oh, the dogs. Oh, Imani. And you got Jupiter and Leo. So that's a good placement too. Jupiter likes being in fire signs. We talked about that earlier too. So be grateful for what you got, Imani. Yeah, I'm sure you already are. Jason is heading to work and hit a bad area, so he said he will catch y'all later. Okay. Nice to meet you, Alicia and Jason. Check in with you soon. I know you are, Imani. That's why I said I know you're already grateful. All right. And giving, because Leo is a giving sign as well. Mars in Virgo will trine Jupiter and Taurus. Those are the earth signs again. Mars in Virgo is so helpful because it's about, again, being organized, planning. Mars in Virgo is also about giving a service that you can take action on, and that will boost you. It'll boost you if you're productive with it, right? And then Mars trining Jupiter will expand on whatever you do, especially the action you take. It'll give you the rewards from the action you take. So this is just getting really decent. I mean, detailed is an excellent work day, especially with the full moon. As you release, you can make room for new things. When you're releasing from the new moon, you're releasing until the new moon starts, and then that's when the new energy comes in. All right, so that is Tuesday. Wednesday, August the 2nd, the moon will square Uranus. So the moon, again, still will be in Aquarius on August the 2nd, squaring the other planet that's in Taurus, Uranus. Uranus is the planet of rebellion, shock, innovation, individuality in groups, and social awareness. So with the moon in not so emotional, detached Aquarius, okay, squaring Uranus. Uranus is so uncomfortable in Taurus. Uranus does not want, it's nice to meet you. I'm still here. Okay, cool, Alicia. Cool. And ask any questions if you feel guided to. Having the moon trine, I'm sorry, where am I at? The moon square Uranus. Uranus is not comfortable being in Taurus because Taurus likes comfortability. Taurus likes security. Taurus likes money and material things. And it's too ever-changing in Uranus. So what's helping is that the moon is, the ruler of the moon is Aquarius is Uranus because Uranus rules Aquarius. Let me slow down because I don't want to talk too fast about this and y'all miss the point. You got a phone call? Okay, tell I say hey. So the moon being in Aquarius, detached, rebellious itself, wanting to be free, squaring Uranus, is like the moon saying, hey, let's keep Taurus on the edge. Let's keep Taurus like always surprised when Taurus is like, I'm not with it. Let's try to make it stable. It's like a breakthrough here, y'all. It's like a breakdown as well. So it's not going to be so harsh because Uranus is a collective planet. It's far out. It has to do with the collective, but at the same time, so does the moon. The full moon is us releasing. So there's some thing about shock value there that we are releasing, and we're free with it. We're accepting whatever comes out of it. Hi, the Dawn. Thank you for joining us. You have to be able to get, like, I would have to be able to get your information, but you can always go to the easiest one to go to is called astrocharts.com, astrocharts.com. You'd have to put in your birth date, day, month, year. You'd have to put in the time you were born. So I was born at 4:35 a.m. I don't know what time you're born, but you have to put the time in and the place. So I was born in Washington, D.C. When you have all those three things, it'll say you have the sun in Gemini. It'll say your moon is in whatever sign. It'll say all the other planets. And at the bottom, it'll say your ascendant. And I can tell you where, from knowing your ascendant or your rising, it'll say ASC, it'll say ascendant, it might say rising. I think on AstroCharts it says ASC. I want to know that too. So I need to know three things. Your sun, you already told me, is in Gemini. Your moon, you'll have to get from astrocharts.com, as well as your ascendant, ASC. And tell me those signs, and then you can come back and we'll tell you how this full moon on Tuesday is going to go. I know if you look outside right now, wherever you are, you can see that full moon bright as day, unless it is daytime. Then you won't be able to see it so much. I'll be here for 15 more minutes, the dawn. All right. I'm going to need to take my asthma medicine. The air is so thick. That's why I keep... Hey, Keish. Keish is up in here. Keish, we had a whole bunch of bots as soon as I started this. But I was going to make Imani a moderator, but I just went ahead and handled it myself and blocked a few people. We had a few bots. But you're here now. Thanks for joining. I'm going to be on here for 15 more minutes because this ring light is hot. My ear is not on because it's too loud for the live. And, yeah. I need to get ready for my week. Keish is an Aquarius rising, y'all. I'm glad you came on. Let's talk about yours real quick before we finish the week. And let me tell y'all the other energies happening. So the full moon, Keish, you can look outside right now. See how big the moon is. It's about to be totally full in Aquarius on Tuesday, August the 1st. So your full moons means release. You have the full moon in your first house because you're an Aquarius rising, Keisha, okay? No, my bad. You're Aquarius moon. So this is your moon. That's what I meant. This is your moon, Keish. So you're a Sagittarius rising, but you have an Aquarius moon. So it could be both of them. All right. You have an Aquarius moon. Your emotions are detached. You like freedom. You like to speak freely and uniquely. That's what that's what moon in Aquarius means. But as a Sagittarius rising, you would have Aquarius in the third house. So what are you releasing with this full moon? That's what I'm telling you right now. This is what you should be doing. You should be releasing overthinking, because the third house is the communication, the information, and knowledge house. You should be releasing some siblings, child. That's what it says, unfortunately. It could be also because, like, when the Sagittarius moon, because I have third house Sagittarius, it was more my be freely talking to my siblings. But let me not confuse you. You have Aquarius. You have this full moon in the third house. Full moons mean release. You could be releasing something you learned in early education, some social activities, some of your interests, some of your neighbors. So I was with Keish this weekend. You got to tell me something. See? I'm like literally getting the nose with everybody tonight. What direction should I be going, or what should I prepare for? My North Node is in Leo. The North Node in Leo, the North Node is currently in Libra right now. So it's not really affecting you because it's affecting all the cardinal signs. And Leo is a fixed sign. So your North Node in Leo, I'm slowing down because I don't want to, I'm embarrassing myself. You just told me your name. I know that you are a woman, 6 images, but I forgot your name that fast. But 6 images, having a North Node in Leo means you are expressive. You are, your destiny is to be more expressive. Your destiny is to be celebrity status. That's Leo, in the spotlight. Leo's ruled by the sun. So having a North Node in Leo, you would have the South Node in Aquarius, which means you're releasing the abilities to be free, or the groups that you've had in your life. Those are the things you're releasing with your South Node. Leo's you more stepping into your own individual expressive ways. Does that make sense? I missed your comment, but let me get back to Keisha. And then you can say what you need to say, and I'll get back to you. So Keisha, Olivia, thank you. Olivia. So let me know if, even though we're not talking about North Node and Leo right now, your mouth is on the floor, Keish, because did I hit something when I was talking about your purpose with this full moon? Okay, cool. Cool, Olivia. The third house is also local areas. So the full moon and you having Aquarius in the third house, Keish, means that the full moon is asking you to maybe even look at your surroundings. And I was just with you this weekend. You said something about neighbors, but I don't think there was any problem with neighbors, but maybe you got something else to tell me. And we can talk right after in about 10 minutes. Let me get through the rest of the week, y'all. So we have, let me get to the main parts so I can take any questions. The moon opposite Venus we already talked about. Wherever you have Leo, because Venus is in retrograde in Leo, you're also looking at that house too. So let me think. If you have third house in Aquarius, Keish, the things that you're reevaluating will be in the 9th house, with Venus in the 9th house for you. Okay? Venus, the planet of love, beauty. Remember we said you're not going to dye your hair in Venus retrograde. Also finances. So traveling, you might want to hold off on right now. Also, because these are your things you're looking out for with Venus in retrograde in your 9th house. That's your Leo house. You may want to look at higher education or something you're learning. Say you want to go back to school, Keish. You may want to just wait till after September. You may want to travel after September too. 9th house is global, so long distance travel. It says you have Mercury in Cancer, the dawn. Moon. Your moon is in Cancer and your rising is in Cancer, the dawn. Thank you for the likes. Thank you, Olivia, for the likes. The Dawn, your moon is in Cancer and you're rising in Cancer. Let me know. I've been right so far with everybody. And literally, I'm not making this up. I'm using these charts. And I just know that, you know, and y'all can look this up too. Just put, what does the full moon mean? And what does having Aquarius in the such and such house mean? It'll give you some of the same things I'm telling y'all now. Are you psychic? That's wild. What you mean? Oh, okay. Right, him having Cancer rising and Cancer moon. So Cancer's at home in the moon. Moon means you're extra, having a Cancer moon. The moon rules Cancer. So the moon represents how you react to things, your emotions, how you feel safe. Cancer is the mother energy, feminine energy, nurturing. It's also about home, family. So some of those things could make you extra emotional. We just moved out of Cancer season, even though you're Gemini, that's the season before. So when the moon was new moon means that you were starting new energies. And Cancer season was super emotional. When that new moon was in Cancer, that was just 2 weeks ago. It was giving those who have Cancer moons a little bit more emotions, or you're getting your emotions into a new level. Maybe you're getting them together. Maybe you're stepping into your comforting people or nurturing people more. Here comes my Cancer child watching the live from this couch in my room. Does that make sense? Let's talk about your Cancer rising, okay? If you have Cancer in the first house, so that's what Cancer risings are. Your rising sign always starts in the first house, That means Cancer, you have Leo in the second house, which is where Venus retrograde is in. So let's just deal with the second house again. You have Leo in the second house. Venus is in retrograde in Leo. Venus, the planet of love, beauty, finances, relationships, makes you reevaluate the things in the second house. Okay, the Dawn? So reevaluating how you spend money. Second house is Taurus stuff. Money, how your work habits, your daily routines, the income you have coming in, what you value. Venus also rules Taurus and Libra. So this is super important, the Dawn. You're releasing, not releasing, that's the full moon energy. You're reevaluating with having Venus in your second house because you're a Cancer rising. After Cancer is Leo, right? This is your Leo house. Venus is currently in Leo. You love Libras? Yeah, because you're a Gemini. That's another air sign, like you. All right. I don't like the other water signs, by the way. I'm a Scorpio. I do not care for Pisces or Cancers too much. Sorry. Yeah, I love the Cancers in my family, like my daughter. She's overly emotional, trust. Let me get back on topic, though. So are you reevaluating any of these things? Okay. For instance, I have Venus. My Leo house is the 11th house. So the 11th house has to do with groups and friends. And I've been reevaluating my friends since 2020. I'm meeting new friends online. The ones who Leo has to do with how you express yourself. Are you able to express yourself with any of these second house things? Especially daily routines and values. If not, reevaluate it. You listen to me, the Dawn. You talking about who you love. But let's talk about the full moon real quick, then I'll get back to you, Alicia. If you have Leo in the second house, you have the full moon in the 8th house. That's your Aquarius house. So are you releasing, that's the Scorpio house. You have Aquarius in the Scorpio house. Are you releasing intimacy, any shared finances? That means like any contracts or partnerships or inheritances. Maybe like arguing over inheritances with your family. No doubt your husband is a Cancer moon also. Y'all must be in there. Very intuitive though. Like Alicia said, very intuitive. Psychic almost. Scorpio, all the water signs are kind of psychic, all of us. It would be extra psychic and extra intuitive having a moon in Cancer though, and a Cancer rising. But are you releasing any of these things? Since you said you have a husband, the Dawn, you wouldn't be like releasing intimacy, I hope not. Or maybe you are taking it up a notch. That could be it too. Joint ventures, or it could be like intimate relationships we have with other people, not like cheating. I'm talking about like partnerships, like partners that you might have that are not working out anymore. You need to release them. A lot of this full moon energy is about endings too. Aquarius, the full moon in Aquarius is about detaching and being free. So let's keep that in mind. My sun is in Cancer. My sun is a Cancer rising. Oh, Alicia. Yep, and her husband's a Cancer moon because me and him have opposite moons. I have the Capricorn moon. Cancer moon's in the house tonight. They were moody last week. Shit. How do you deal with that, Alicia? Because my Cancer daughter, Cancer sun, she's a Taurus moon and a Virgo rising. We talking about water and earth. We talking about intuitive and productive, but still, them emotions be overpowering that sometimes. So, one thing, thank you, Keish. One thing I want to say, the Dawn, everybody has a sun sign, moon sign, rising sign, and all those kind of things. So you could meet an Aquarius who you don't get along because of their sun, but they might be a Libra rising like myself. I think you like me. I'm not an Aquarius sun. I don't have any Aquarius placements, but I do have an Aquarius house, and that's the 11th house. And I'm currently picking and choosing who I talk to, and I think I like talking with you. And that's because I have Aquarius in the 11th house, the house that deals with friends and groups. So you may love one of these people that you say you don't like because they have other signs like that you do like Libra and Sagittarius in their moon or their rising. Rising is how you come across anyway. So if I didn't say I was a Scorpio, you might guess I'm a Libra anyway. Because I can be indecisive and I also can be a people person. The Dawn, they are crazy. Y'all stop talking about Aquarius before this moon get y'all. Hey, Imani's back. It says you don't have a husband. I could have sworn you said something. Maybe I was reading Alicia's and I got it mixed up. Yeah, I was reading Alicia's. My bad. Hard time expressing yourself. Because you have the Leo in the second house. So maybe if you were to release the fear of expressing yourself, your finances and your money could come up. You could feel more secure. Definitely hardworking, but I'm doing it. Okay. Yeah, I'm a little bit behind on the messages, y'all. I always get this way because I start chatting and then I don't look at y'all's messages. We're 1 minute to 11. Thank you for following the Dawn. That's why you don't get along with Leos? As a Gemini? The air and fire signs get along. So why shouldn't you dye your hair, Keish? Good question. I know you want to do this so bad, and I told you, and I want Imani to chime in here too. Because Venus is about your beauty and how you suit yourself, how you dress yourself, how you give your appearance, right? Dyeing your hair during Venus retrograde when you're supposed to be reevaluating, you can literally, the best way to do this would be like, take pictures. They have like it's an app for like changing your hair in different colors to see which one you like. And that could like give you another idea. Maybe I don't look good in this color. Or with Venus in retrograde, it's more like for cutting your hair. But it's also anything you change in your beauty regimen, because Venus has to do with beauty, you might not like it by the time Venus goes direct again. And then it'll be too late. So say you dye your hair a lighter color, you got to put bleach in it. That could give you a rash out of nowhere. You could put the color on top of the bleach. That could burn it out. Like, it's those kind of instances where even though you've done it a million times, this time because it's Venus retrograde, It might not go the way it's planned. Beauty's valued, love, and money. Exactly. Which is why we shouldn't have got that bottle of Brut today for how much it costs, because it costs $3 at the daggone liquor store. Finances, Imani. That's the main one. No, don't get along with Leos, Aquarius, and Virgos. Virgos are way too logical and non-realistic, but they give service to others. There's a lot of things I used to not like Pisces, and I still really don't. But an evolved, every sign has a low vibing and a high vibing, or evolved and not so evolved. So like Scorpios, a lot of people don't like Scorpios because we are intense, we are vindictive, and we like to have sex, sexually hyper, right? But an evolved Scorpio would be the one who is not vindictive. So what's the opposite of not vindictive? Like more reserved. Saving sex for someone who really deserves it. And what's the other thing I said? Whatever. It's, everything is evolved. So like Pisces can be escape from reality a lot, and can be not so spiritual and not forgiving and all those Pisces characteristics. But the evolved one, every sign again has an evolved and not evolved characteristics. So the people that you're talking about are not evolved, basically, the Dawn. They're not evolved. And the thing with Scorpios, the scorpion is the very first symbol of Scorpio. All the signs have 3 levels too. So the scorpion is the first level. It's the level that stays low vibing, low on the ground, and stings. The second is the eagle. So the eagle can swoop up, soar high, and then come back down and, get stuck there because they want to prey on something, right? Or not get stuck, but they're preying on something. So they had to go low to do that. Then the last level is the phoenix, where you're rising from the ashes, you've been reborn. That's the Scorpio levels. Keisha, do it, but don't say I didn't tell you. I didn't warn you. Yes, a fixed Scorpio. Scorpios fix water. So fixed water, you think of ice. That's why a lot of Scorpios have an ice box where their heart used to be. Oh, Marion is a Scorpio. Y'all know that song? Got an ice box where my heart used to be. That's fixed water. Fixed earth is the opposite sign of Scorpio, Taurus. So it's like they're stubborn. They're hard to break through. I love Scorpios, but I feel Geminis are too much for them. Yeah, because we're both investigative, but y'all a little gossipy, and we get too vindictive for that. And as soon as you say something about this, we're going to beat your ass. As soon as you say the wrong thing, you're not. Okay, because September's not that far away, and we got so much popping off in August. I can't wait to tell y'all. I posted on my page right before I did this live. So the last post, and y'all gonna like it because one of the parts, I threw Cardi B in the middle there where she had to throw the microphone at somebody recently. Because that's how August about to be. Like, coming in with a bang and leaving with a boom. That's what that post is out. So y'all check that last post I put up. What I've learned is Scorpios love the hardest. Yes, we do. And nobody appreciates that. And that's why we get so vindictive. When we feel loved, we soar high. But as soon as y'all mess with our love, we prey on your ass and then we sting you. My son is in here, DJ. DJ is the one who says MMLXVII. That's my Libra sun, Libra moon, Taurus rising, Libra Mars, Libra Venus, and he is a Mercury and Scorpio. My son is a Libra stellium. All right, Dawn, hold up. Let me get back and wrap this up because we're a little bit over schedule here. I'm going to give it to 11:11, and we're going to go because all of us need to start this week off knowing what we learned about where the full moon is in our chart, okay? So I think I just want to talk about Mercury moving into shadow on the 4th, which is Friday, right? Yes. So Mercury is moving into Virgo. Mercury, it's already in Virgo, I'm sorry. It just moved in there this past week. And Mercury in Virgo is at home. Mercury rules Gemini, the Dawn, and Mercury rules Virgo. So Mercury, the planet of communication, knowledge, and information, being at home in Venus, it's more stronger in Venus than it is in Gemini. It's strong in both, because Geminis know their stuff too, but Virgos are so detailed. That's why a lot of people don't like Virgos. Virgos are detailed, organized, or if they're not, they need to be. That's the elevated and non-elevated. So like, and they're healthy, about health. There's some Virgos who are not consistent with their diet, so they're chubby, but you'll see them still struggling to try to get that healthy body, right? Virgos, the elevated one, will give service to others with and also give service to themselves. The elevated one might just be giving service to others and getting mad that they're not nourishing themselves too. But with Mercury going into shadow, that means that it's getting ready to slow down and start going in reverse motion. When Mercury's in retrograde, and it's always in retrograde, like every 3 months Mercury's in retrograde. So this is the retrograde we all know the most. When Mercury's in retrograde, leave work early. Plan. This is Virgo, so it's going to be extra potent. Plan to leave work early. Organize your day. Don't get into arguments, because Virgo knows the details it's going to make you. And if you have Mercury in Virgo, then this is going to be you. But if you don't have Mercury in Virgo, this is what you're going to get from others, especially mutable signs. People who have Mercury in Gemini, Mercury in Sag, Mercury in Pisces, or Mercury in Virgo. I have Mercury in Sag. Sagittarius is in its detriment because it's ruled by Gemini. So the opposite sign of Sagittarius is Gemini. So that's why I get tongue-tied a lot. That's why my mouth is off the chain. And a lot of the time I know what I'm talking about because Sagittarius is higher learning. But sometimes I don't bring it across as well as a Gemini would. Mercury in Pisces is the opposite of Virgo. So those who have Mercury in Pisces, like my coach, sometimes his Mercury in Sag and Mercury in Pisces and Sag are also ruled by Jupiter. So Mercury and Jupiter are opposite planets, actually. Having a Mercury in Pisces or Mercury in Jupiter can be so broad, and I'm talking to Keisha too again, it can be so broad sometimes that I talk over people's heads. Like I'm doing a little too much talking and not enough details, like Mercury in Virgo or Mercury in Gemini would give you. Does that make sense? What's Sag and Gemini rising? Is it a struggle? It's a struggle. Alicia? Well, I thought you had some other placements. I know I did do your Gemini rising earlier. I didn't know you was a Sag. You're a Sag sun? You're a Sag sun, Alicia? Keisha, you was on here with Jason the other day. Alicia is on Jason's page, and she is using his name. This is Alicia. So Jason came on here the other day, Alicia, and wow, that's all. A lot of people that are in this live right now was on the live on Friday with him. Okay, so, this is your page. Oh, okay, right, because you all kind of have the similar names. I think I followed you earlier. All right, he's Swaja said, right. So, what's shocking to me is that I started off the early part of my life being attached to Tauruses a lot. My ex-husband is a Taurus. I have 3 kids, so my first 2 kids was my ex-husband. But then my last child was with a Sagittarius. And literally after I had my last child, I've been dealing with Sagittarius ever since. The breakup I just had was with Sagittarius. Me and your husband have so many similarities. It's crazy. It's crazy. I would have loved to marry the Sagittarius I was just with. But she was just too delusional. Sometimes Jupiter is so broad that it makes y'all delusional. But, you have other placements. I don't hate no signs anymore. I just love elevated people. And you seem elevated, Alicia. You seem cool. Thank you. All right. It's almost 11:11, y'all. I just wanted to talk about the Mercury conjunct. And the moon will move into Aries on the 4th, on the 5th. There's not really much going on. On the 6th, the moon will be in Aries conjunct the North Node. Because That's a big deal because the moon in Aries is really impulsive. And the North Node, Ashe, is 11/11. Ashe! DJ, you still here? Say Ashe, DJ. Ashe, he is here. Ashe, Olivia said it too.
Ashe.
Zane said it too. We're going to wrap this up, y'all. Yeah. And I will see y'all on Tuesday. I'm normally here Sunday, Wednesday, and Friday. Wednesday we do retrograde talk. Friday we do, I'm going to start doing now that I have, I know I love how they support DJ on here. Milan texted me and Zane coming in. Zane helped me set up this. My kids are old. My kids' house is Pisces. So yeah. I have Pisces in the 5th house. No, I have Pisces in the 6th house. I keep mixing that up because again, that whole chart, we talked about that earlier though. But I love how y'all love my kids supporting. DJ sit up here liking getting the live up to 2,000 likes. Hey, Keish. Oh, y'all, I appreciate it. So, yeah, Tuesday I'm going to come on just to check in with y'all for the full moon. If it's nice and not cloudy outside, I'll sit outside and do my live with the bugs. Like I did on the last... Did I do that on the last full moon? I think I did. So, see y'all then. Hey, the real Luciano. Thank you for joining. We're wrapping it up every Monday, Wednesday, not Monday, every Sunday, Wednesday, and Friday. I'm on here 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm in DC, y'all. If we go outside on the full moon and it's too many gunshots in the air, we're coming back in. But I'll see on Tuesday. We'll do a live Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday this week. Coming up. All right, Olivia, Keish, DJ, Imani, the Don. Jason was here, but he got off. He had to go. Who else I ain't shout out? If I missed you. Somebody named Michaela was here. I talked with her. We did her reading. If I missed you, you know, I definitely didn't mean to. All right. See y'all later. Y'all have a great start of the week. We'll check in on Tuesday. Keish, hit me up so you can tell me what I said, because now I want to know. Peace, y'all. Have a great week. Have a great Monday.